Hey guys, in this video, you'll find a compilation of my latest strategies that make memorable marketing and advertising moments. Good graphic design not only catches the eye, but also leaves a lasting impact. So whether you're a designer, marketer, or business owner, these insights will help you elevate your brand and stand out in a crowded market. I'm Yvonne from Visme, helping you design better for your business. But before we jump in, I also wanted to let you know about our free graphic design principles course that you can expand your knowledge and even earn a certification. I'll drop the link down below in the comments, or you can head over to visme.com/certifications and become a design pro. All right, let's go ahead and get started. For centuries, advertising has been one of the most important factors of business. Today, we're exploring arguably the most crucial aspect of advertising: design. I'm Yvonne from Visme, and I'm going to show you how to use colors, composition, and storytelling to make your ads stand out and resonate with your audience. Let's get into it. One of the most important aspects in all of design is color. And color can mean so much more when we view it from the lens of marketing and advertising. This is where we need to look at color psychology and the effect it has on your audience. Color can evoke strong emotions, often subconsciously. It's more than just a design choice. It's a powerful tool that shapes how we feel and respond to ads. Think of Coca-Cola, for example. Coca-Cola Red, specifically. It evokes passion, energy, and excitement, the same feeling you get when that sugar and caffeine starts kicking in. Then there's Starbucks Signature Green. It suggests nature, harmony, and calmness, like soothing green tea that you would get straight out of Seattle. When designing your ad, choosing the right color isn't just about what looks nice. It's about the emotional response you want to trigger in your audience and how your audience is going to experience your product. For example, red, again, signals urgency and passion, while blue is calming and trustworthy. Whether you're going for bold or subtle, the psychology behind colors can help you connect with your target audience on a deeper level. Next, let's talk about composition. A well-composed ad grabs attention and guides the viewer's eyes to the most important elements. You've got your logo, your call to action, and maybe an emotional hook, but where should they go? One of the best tools in design is the rule of thirds. Picture a 3x3 grid over your image. Placing key elements at the intersections naturally draws attention, making your ad more engaging. For an even more balanced layout, you can use the golden mean, which is based on the Fibonacci sequence and is a visual phenomenon that actually occurs in nature and can be observed all over the world of design. Just look at a snail's shell. This technique can give your design a harmonious, aesthetically pleasing structure. Another thing to keep in mind is how the human eye naturally scans visuals. Most people follow a Z pattern or an F pattern when looking at an image. This is especially important when designing your ads. By placing important elements like your logo, call to action along these visual paths, you can increase engagement and guide viewers toward the desired action. But how do you use your graphics properly to create that aesthetic design? This is where it's important to understand the best practices for using text in design. Typography plays a huge role in ad design, but it's easy to overdo it. Too much text can clutter the design and overwhelm the viewer. In fact, platforms like Facebook limit the amount of text you can use in ads for this very reason. Finding the right balance between text and visuals is key. The font style, size, and positioning of your copy all matter. A bold, clean font can grab attention without overwhelming the design. Remember, in most cases, less is actually more. Let the visuals do the talking and use your text to reinforce the message. That's why Visme's slogan is actually communicate visually. Repetition is also a powerful tool in branding, specifically when you're launching something new. Consistency helps solidify your brand identity in consumers' minds. You want your audience to recognize your brand immediately, whether they see your ad on social media, a billboard, or in a magazine. However, be careful not to overuse repetition. Too much of the same thing can lead to ad fatigue. The key is to keep certain elements like your logo or your color palette the same, while varying format or creative content. This way, your brand stays fresh and engaging without becoming monotonous. While the graphics and placement are all essential to a well-designed ad, what about the human aspect? People as models are used all over advertising and have their own specific design aesthetic that draws the audience's attention. Body language is often overlooked in advertising, but it's incredibly powerful. Whether the people in your ad are exuding confidence, warmth, or excitement, their posture and expressions send non-verbal signals that resonate with the viewer. For example, a model eating in a McDonald's ad might yawn to subtly highlight their 24-hour service, appealing to tired late-night customers. Direct eye contact creates a strong emotional connection. When someone looks directly at the camera, the way I'm looking at you, it feels personal. This technique is often used for luxury goods or products that want to forge an emotional bond. On the flip side, a three-quarter gaze, where the model is looking away from the camera, adds mystery and intrigue. It's common in fashion or luxury ads where the focus is more about creating a mood or story than making an immediate personal connection. But it also helps the viewer focus on the product rather than making a mini parasocial relationship with the model. So we understand the types of design and how to use them. How do we actually ensure that our ad will be successful and generate leads? Now that you've got a handle on the creative aspects of ad design, let's talk about the strategy to actually create your design. A successful ad campaign is built on a solid foundation, and I've got a simple 5-step cycle that will ensure your ad hits the mark every time. Step 1, define your North Star metric. Your North Star metric is the single most important outcome you want to achieve with your campaign. It could be increasing sales, driving downloads, or getting more signups. By defining this key metric, you can focus all your efforts, both creative and strategic, on achieving that specific goal. It's about aligning your ad design and messaging with the broader business objectives. Step 2, know your audience. It's not enough to have data on your audience. You also need to understand their struggles, desires, and how they talk about you. This is where customer conversions, surveys, and social media engagement comes in. By combining data with real conversations, you'll get a clearer picture of what resonates with your audience. When your ad speaks directly to their needs or desires, you'll see a big boost in engagement and conversions. Step 3, align concept, copy, and creative. Your concept, copy, and visuals all need to align with both your brand's message and your audience's needs. When all elements of your ad work together, whether it's the message, visuals, or emotional appeal, it becomes a much more effective ad. It's all about telling a cohesive story that resonates with the people you want to reach. Step 4, test your ad creative. Don't settle for one version of your ad. Test different variations to see what works best. A/B testing and multivariate testing allow you to experiment with headlines, images, and call to actions. Visuals tend to have the biggest impact, so start there when testing your ad variations. Once you find a winning combination, you'll have a much better chance of achieving your campaign goals. Step 5, optimize your landing page. Your landing page needs to be as compelling as the ads are that drive traffic to it. Keep it focused, visually appealing, and optimized for mobile. The goal is to create a seamless experience from the ad to the landing page. If your landing page doesn't live up to the ad, you'll lose potential customers at the last step. Simplify the design, make the CTA clear, and ensure the page loads quickly on all devices. Designing a successful ad can seem overly complicated, daunting even, but it doesn't have to be. That's why you can rely on Visme, the all-in-one content creation platform that was made specifically for people like you to make designing simple and easy. You can try one of our many advertising templates so you can start designing your professional grade ad today. You can try today with the link down below. And until next time, I'm Ivan from Visme, helping you design better for your business. Have you ever looked at a graphic design and thought, I could do that? What does it take to design something beautiful and attention-grabbing? Well, it turns out professional designers use a few simple tricks to elevate their work that you've probably never heard of. So today, I'm sharing those secrets that even non-designers can use to take projects from bland to stunning. If you're watching this, I'm probably talking to you. To start off, there are some basic principles of design that you need to understand before you even think about your next project. In design, there is something we call the visual hierarchy. The visual hierarchy can be summed up in a few key aspects. Those are size, perspective, color and contrast, space, and of course, repetition. You'll want to focus on the most important parts of your design first when planning out your first draft. The most important being size. Yes, it does matter, at least for our purposes. The larger the image, the more that our eye is drawn to it and the greater attention that we're going to put on it. This eventually relates us back to spacing, which we'll discuss later in the video. The next aspect is perspective. How you place an element in relation to another from front to back can change how we perceive a design when combined together. A great example of this is actually from Lord of the Rings. Before advanced CGI and green screen capabilities took over, the filmmakers created elaborate sets that made Gandalf the Grey significantly larger in frame compared to the hobbits, despite the actors actually being much closer in height. Color and contrast will relate to how colors interact with the rest of your design and how key elements pop in relation to other elements. Stay tuned as we'll go deeper into color theory and how you can decide the best ones for your image. Spacing details with the entire frame of your composition and how you position elements in relation to each other. And finally, we have the use of repetition, which, as the term suggests, how often you repeat certain elements or themes within your overall design to establish consistency. There is so much around the visual hierarchy that you can learn about in our other videos, which we have linked at the end of this video. These principles are essential for compiling and arranging your potential elements. But how do you even come up with an idea that makes sense for your project? This is where it can be extremely helpful to do research beforehand. But what does that research even look like? Well, that's when you start to look around for other designs related to your topic or anything that appeals to your personal style. Google actually is a fantastic tool for researching and seeing some of history's greatest artists. Just search for great art and designs and images, and Google Images will literally provide thousands of works that you can learn from. Take notes on what they have in common and also what you like. This will get those gears starting to turn in your head and providing inspiration to start building out the concept of your design. There are so many artists and styles to choose from, so if you have a subject matter that you're really interested in, look for designs related to that topic and just start from there. Once you have some design ideas floating around in your head, then you can move on to start collecting elements that you like. Start storing elements like high-quality vector images so that you can easily scale them when in the editing process, which takes us into planning. How much space will you really need for your design? This allows you to start thinking about the spacing before you even start constructing the image. But while collecting these elements, make sure that you're organizing them accordingly in folders and naming schemes that make sense to you and your team if you're working with the rest of your team. I can't tell you how annoying it is to be endlessly searching for a graphic that you need and you can't find it because it's buried in another folder with a name like coolpictures.2.png or something crazy like that. But don't forget that no matter what you're designing for, be creative and get out of your comfort zone. Use this as an opportunity to express yourself with your ideas and sensibilities. Challenge yourself to use techniques that you haven't used before, and you might find yourself creating something that you didn't even know you were capable of. Just as design can mean something special to you and how you express your artistic vision to the world, it can be just as impactful to the audience. You need to take into account how your design can affect the audience emotionally and what elements can cause that desired emotion. And nothing can affect an audience quite like color. So you need to be very decisive when it comes to choosing the right colors for your design. That's why it's important to understand the psychology of color. Different colors have different meanings, like red, relating back to power and importance, which is why it's so prominent in a lot of designs and icons, just like that subscribe button down below. Blue relates to knowledge. Green gives sense of nature and harmony. Even using colors like black and white can give a feeling of elegance and purity in your design. And if you'd like to learn more about how this is used in the real world, check out our video on the world's most iconic logos. So utilize a color wheel and choose colors that work well in a theme, like complementary and analogous colors. Complementary colors will be opposite on the color wheel, like blue and orange or green and red, while analogous colors or neighboring colors on the wheel will be your cool colors like blue and green or warm colors like red and yellow. But as we'll discuss later, you should be keeping your color scheme simple. Select one primary color, two complementary colors, and neutral backgrounds. Try using example color palettes that fit your topic, like pink, blue, and tan that could work for a beach composition. But how should you use text when creating your design? Text can play one of the biggest roles for making your design stand out. A simple rule of thumb is to limit your text to 50 to 60 characters per line max. You don't want to overwhelm the viewer with a block of text. You might as well have just written an essay, and that basically defeats the purpose of the whole entire design. You'll also want to limit your fonts to 2 and use fonts that complement the design and messaging that you're trying to convey. One can be the header, the most prominent text graphic, and the other text could be your body, which is smaller and stores most of the information of the piece. But like we mentioned with color and contrast earlier, it is important that your text is readable. So use contrasting colors between your text and the background, like light text on a dark background or dark text on a light background. The goal is to make your design pop and have the elements that you want to stand out, well, stand out. So how can we do that? It's actually quite simple. That's your answer. A common theme throughout this whole entire video has been simplicity. A very popular acronym in art is KISS, stands for Keep It Simple, Stupid. Now, that might seem a bit harsh, but in reality, it's so true that even professional designers forget this crucial rule. But just because something is simple doesn't make it easy. This is where everything that we discussed up to this point comes into play. Remember how we mentioned spacing earlier? Well, using the elements that you created are important to understanding how they coordinate and complement each other. In a lot of cases, less is more, and the lack of elements or negative space can be just as vital as the elements that you created. You want your larger elements to stand out, your text to pop, and the color theme to fit the design, but spacing them accordingly will make your image aesthetic. Another good rule of thumb is to use an odd number of images or graphics when designing. In the case of 3 graphics, you can make one larger than the other 2, which makes it stand out while the other 2 complement the main one. But if you're feeling discouraged or need some added help, use a template. Visme has countless templates that you can use to create designs for presentations, social media, or even lead magnets for your business. But the most important part is to stay inspired. Designing can be really hard, but if you try new things and push yourself to be better than you were before, there is no doubt that you'll be making leaps and bounds toward those professional level designs. And if you'd like to improve your designs, check out Visme today with the link down below. We created specifically to help people like you make advanced designs simple and easy. I'm Ivan from Visme, helping you design better for your business. Struggling to make your marketing stand out in a crowded market? Well, you're not alone. Without compelling branding, even the best marketing strategies fall flat. In this video, we're tackling a game changer for your business success: graphic design. Whether you're a project manager, a marketer, or just getting started, this video will cover everything you need to know. We'll explore how graphic design goes beyond just looking good. I mean,
did you ever think that maybe there's more to life than being really ridiculously good looking?
it's a powerful tool for communication, branding, and customer engagement. I'm Ivan from Visme, helping you design better for your business. So let's get started. Graphic design is often misunderstood as just making things look nice. While it does involve aesthetics, it's so much more than that. At its core, graphic design is the art of combining text, images, and elements like color and typography to communicate a message visually. And don't worry, we've got videos that dive deeper into all the topics on our channel, so consider subscribing. Whether you're building a website, creating social media posts, or running an email campaign, graphic design, it helps you establish your brand's identity and increases engagement with your audience. In fact, 46% of people say a website's design is the #1 contributing factor and determining factor of credibility for that company. So take a company like Apple, for example. When you visit their website, you are greeted with a very sleek and modern design with great use of contrast to emphasize their highly advanced products. One of the biggest reasons why graphic design is so crucial in digital marketing is its ability to communicate complex information pretty quickly. For example, you have maybe a millisecond to catch someone's attention on TikTok, or if you're driving down the road, see a billboard. Effective graphic design makes sure your message is understood instantly. That means when we talk about marketing, a well-crafted design is your best bet for getting your message across. And it's great that design is visually stimulating, but how can we get those audiences to actually care and be invested in the brand, specifically your brand? One of the most powerful uses of graphic design is in storytelling. Because graphic design communicates messaging faster than normal text, that means that you can tell your story more succinctly as well. A good example is actually here at Visme. In one of our other videos, we analyzed the design elements of our logo. Our logo, as an eye, conveys that we are a company and platform meant to help you improve your design skills and produce content at a professional level. Graphic design helps businesses convey this story through font choices, color schemes, and other design elements, allowing them to connect with their target audience on a deeper level. It's important to maintain a unified visual identity across all your channels. So use infographics, custom illustrations, or even video to make your blog posts, articles, and web content just that much more engaging. This builds trust with your audience and encourages them to stay longer on that page. And don't forget about SEO. By optimizing images with alternative text, you can increase your chances of ranking higher in search engine results, driving more traffic to your website. But how can you utilize graphic design to actually grow your business and acquire new leads? Once your brand guidelines are in place, it's time to create a graphic design strategy. This strategy defines how your business will use graphic design to meet its marketing goals. Some key questions to consider include, what's your brand's vision and how can your design support that? What character or tone does your brand project and how can this be reflected visually? What design trends align with your brand's aesthetic? And how will you measure the success of your design strategy? By collaborating with a graphic design team, whether it's in-house or an agency or even a freelancer, you can tailor this strategy to your needs and ensure that it aligns with current trends. Social media is one of the most visual-driven platforms out there. Successful brands often have a cohesive art direction, a consistent style and theme across, all of their posts. This is particularly important on platforms like Instagram and YouTube, where your audience scrolls through your content relatively quickly. Creating a consistent visual identity ensures your brand is recognizable in an instant. But it's important to not only have someone who can design graphics, it's just as important for anyone managing your designers to understand design as well. If you want to improve your design skills or judge the quality of the designs you see, it's essential to understand the basics of visual communication. These elements help guide the audience's attention and make your design more effective. So let's break down some of these key components. So let's start with color. Color plays a massive role in setting the tone of your design. Each color evokes a different emotional response or associations. Designers use color theory to create focal points, depth, and a clear visual message. For example, why do you think so many fast food chains use red and yellow? Because it creates excitement, and there's actually studies showing that red and yellow used together, it evokes hunger. That's why you'll see McDonald's is red and yellow, Wendy's is red and yellow, Burger King, Raising Cane's, all your favorite places are red and yellow, so that makes you want to stop by and grab a bite to eat. But if we take blue for an example, blue evokes the emotion of knowledge, trust, and safety. So if we look at companies like Facebook, Ford, Allstate, they create trust in their product. Allstate's slogan is literally, "You're in good hands." And if we finish up RGB, we still have green. Green is going to evoke health, nature, wellness. So that's why you're going to see brands like Whole Foods or Vicks. Their products are meant to help you feel good, make you feel healthy, and improve your overall quality of life. Then we have shape. Shapes communicate meaning. For instance, organic shapes like circles often suggest natural movement, while rectangles convey structure and human-made order. There's also typography. Fonts can completely change the feel of a design. Whether it's serif, sans serif, or script font, typography needs to be legible and align with your overall design aesthetic. And we can't forget about contrast. Creating contrast helps emphasize certain elements in your design, guiding the viewer's eye and highlighting more important information. Just like Apple's website that we referenced earlier in the video. And visual hierarchy, this is all about arranging elements in a way that ensures the most important information gets noticed first. By using size, color, and position, designers lead viewers through the content in a logical and effective way. And with the average person encountering thousands of ads daily, standing out is more important than ever. Eye-catching graphics are essential for breaking through the noise on platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all forms of social media. To capture attention and be memorable, you need to create bold, unique, and visual striking designs. So make sure to brainstorm new ideas regularly and don't be afraid to experiment. Combining creative design with strong copywriting ensures that your social media ads grab your audience's attention and are not just seen, but remembered. And one of the most memorable tactics is motion graphics. Motion graphics are increasingly popular in the digital space. These animations are highly effective in increasing engagement and bringing content to life. Whether used in video ads, social media posts, or on websites, whatever you want to use, motion graphics combine animation, text, and imagery to create a dynamic visual experience on any platform. But I know what you're all thinking. Yvonne, this is great and all, but we don't have enough in the budget to hire a full-time graphic designer. Well, I'm here to help with that, and that's why we created Visme. It's an all-in-one content creation platform that you can use to create professional-level marketing assets like presentations, infographics, brochures, and a whole lot more. So if you're not ready for a design team, Visme's easy-to-use interface can help even people like you create something truly special for your next campaign. And if you'd like to learn more about the principles of design to enhance your skills and maybe get the most use out of Visme, try a free design course at the link down below. I host the design course, so you know you're in good hands. I'm Yvonne from Visme, helping you design better for your business.